G2 twice. Here we go.
This is going to be a battle, Stacks. SSG have been looking forward to this matchup for a long time. Now they finally get a shot at the Titans on G2 Esports, a team that looks like they can't be beat right now in North America. But let's see if Daniel and the crew can make it happen.
Oh, we've seen it time and time again. A team making that lower bracket run has all the momentum, and Reddle scores 8 seconds in. It's an opening flourish out of SSG.
Immediately on top of the ball. Good read on the clear from Arsenal, and Reddles with the follow-up. That's the type of speed you got to play against when you go against G2. SSG strike first.
It did not take long at all, and now the question is, can G2 answer? JNaps will have to start it from near his own back line. Atomic up ahead, nothing there as Arsenal dumps to the corner. And JNaps thought about the challenge, but he will back out of the play. He needs a lot of boost. He's got nothing. Well, he'll get a free 30+ out of that. And now Daniel has Arsenal and Reddles way downfield. Chicago on his way back. Demo by Reddles. It's wide open, and Daniel couldn't get a shot off.
Wide open chance, and yeah, you're right. Daniel a little awkward there. Can't get that play, but look at the speed we're seeing coming out from SSG. They are making a point here to get on top of G2 and make sure they're as uncomfortable as possible, as these offensive drives have been deadly.
Spacestation Gaming getting through after a lower bracket final with FaZe Clan that was starting to look eerily similar to their upper bracket matchup yesterday, as JNaps will get a shot away here. Chicago decoy, didn't get the redirect. Now up ahead, Reddles to Arsenal. Arsenal missed the open net, and Daniel again can't put it on target. And SSG's accuracy betraying them early on after that first goal. Chicago off the bar. JNaps off the bar as well. Arsenal got a piece as well. Neither side particularly accurate, and JNaps couldn't get the read on this as it bounces away.
So many goals should be scored by now. You saw Daniel one in, then the counterattack from G2's been so strong. Here's a chance for Atomic, blocked out instantly. It just seems like times where you think both these teams should be scoring, they're just missing that final shot.
Both teams doing an excellent job with boost management, though. That's a situation where SSG could have been starved out, having to play defense for so long. They did not let G2 get the upper hand. We remain with a 1-0 SSG lead as Reddles got one across, and now Atomic taking his time to play over Arsenal. I imagine after watching the way SSG has played and seeing some of the success that FaZe did have in that last series, we might see a few solo plays if they get Arsenal as last man back, with someone like Chicago trying to juke him out of his car. But for now, they're trying to find a way out of their zone as JNaps will get across.
Yeah, G2 definitely looked a little shaky in that series with FaZe earlier in the day. You got to think 3 overtimes back-to-back, and still, you know, they ended up coming away with that series, but FaZe definitely made it close in that aspect, just kind of showing how human G2 really is. Now, with this game, they've already had 5 shots to SSG's 3, and they still haven't been able to convert.
Atomic will get the second touch to send this all the way downfield, but Daniel's right there. Atomic does a good job to keep this in play. So it will get to the ceiling. JNaps didn't get a clean shot off. Reddles in his way. Reddles defensively has been outstanding in the first 3 minutes of this grand final, and he's trying to get a little help out of Arsenal. He got some, but JNaps will play this right back across. Chicago's waiting. Atomic coming on to tie the game, and Daniel stopped him.
It's just automatic, though, when you see those pass plays come out from G2. You get a little scared. It was a really good placement on Atomic, and I think Daniel wanted to challenge him, but it was smart for Daniel to hesitate because he ended up getting that save out.
It's been a very physical defensive effort out of SSG. You heard Gibbs talk about it, averaging over 5 demos a game, and now 3 demos between the two teams in a span of 3 seconds. Arsenal leaves it for Daniel. JNaps got a piece of that as well. Chicago has to wait for Reddles' play, and this will go right down in front. Nobody diving in, so it was relatively safe. But now Daniel threatening as he forces JNaps into the air. And Reddles has a lot of time to play this, a little less time now with Atomic bearing down on him. Chicago shot as Daniel got caught on the ramp, ties the game.
Yeah, Daniel was already low on boost here, and then you can see trying to play that sidewall, turns in just as awkward as the shot from Chicago comes through. SSG have to understand, even though they want to take some time on their own back wall, G2 is not going to wait on you as they force the issue for that goal.
The lead lasted almost 4 minutes, but it does not hold to the end as Daniel comes out the better of the two here. Has Arsenal trailing behind him, and important that Chicago didn't just play that ball back downfield, had to get it out to the side first. Daniel will cut on this, but Chicago's got it. Now with 40 seconds left, bank off the ceiling, sent away by Atomic. Reynolds is waiting and he scores!
Oh, that's Slot Gang Slater right there. You give him a look and he's putting it in the top left corner. A tough clear for Atomic, but not the best one for G2 because Reynolds placed that perfectly.
There was one really good defensive play away from the oncoming attackers, and then they follow it up by handing the ball right back over. Arsenal has to improvise after the initial miss. Chicago got it to JNaps, and we're tied back up again.
Oh, it just doesn't stop. G2 come back so quickly. You think that nothing happened. Look at this read from JNaps. Daniel in a tough spot, and just like that, he has to go up because he knows what's going to happen if he misses. G2's going to place that every single time. We've got 4 goals here in game 1. 30 seconds left. It could go either way.
3 of those goals scored in a span of 30 seconds. Daniel with Arsenal to his left, Reynolds to his right, Daniel to the backboard, and Atomic snuffs out the play with 20. Reynolds for the hat trick. Ooh. Chicago shut him down. Needs another touch to get around Arsenal. Doesn't have it, but Atomic does. As he gave it away to Daniel, looking for Arsenal, and Chicago got back again. They're all just packed in like sardines in front of the G2 net. Reynolds, Daniel for the win, baby! 4 seconds to go. Daniel strikes.
This is beautiful. 50 out, Reynolds sharing the ball. The quick pass, the quick shot from Daniel, and SSG take the lead. 4 seconds left, but we've seen G2 score in this time.
It has been a fast and furious final minute. G2 out of time, they fake it. Chicago doesn't quite get there. Atomic to lob it up for him. Chicago does have full boost. Down to JNaps to tie it. Incredible!
I can't believe it. Even though I knew they could do it, they still pull it off. Look at this touch from Chicago. Sets the net up open, and of course, you give JNaps a free shot. He's going to bury that.
That is unbelievable. 5 of the 6 goals scored in the final 61 seconds. What else is going to happen here? Daniel waiting. He's a little awkward, though. He was backwards for most of that. And now Atomic going to run out of juice as Arsenal goes by him, and he's by 2. JNaps catches up, and that kind of lets Chicago off the hook. Reynolds trying to drop it down to Daniel, and not this time. Atomic snuffs it out. Hey, they finally started playing defense here, Daz.
Yeah, seems like it as this overtime continues on. SSG, though, a little in trouble here. G2 gained a lot of momentum off of getting some of these clutch goals, and they look to try to add one more to the tally. We'll have to see if Daniel can kind of carry this out. Need to see more confidence of him on the ball. It's been tough for Daniel to kind of get things going here, but Arsenal and Reynolds have been able to pick up anytime he's fallen off.
Daniel tracking here, but Chicago played around him. Reynolds and Arsenal almost double. There's a demo on Atomic. There have been plenty of those in this game. And with the overtime, you imagine maybe that demos per game average of over 5 might even go up for SSG. But right now, they got to play a little defense. Arsenal stuffed by Chicago, but he can stay with this. And that forces JNaps into action, and Atomic pinches one that I don't think Chicago was ready for, and this gives it right back to SSG and an opportunity to finally end this 3-all stalemate. G2 up to the task, and Atomic will give his teammates time to reset.
Good on Daniel. Great control there. Oh my goodness, pass too. Now Arsenal trying to bump out Atomic. Can't get there. Chicago with the stop. And now SSG will play it in the corner. Daniel and JNaps take each other out. So Reynolds is buying Daniel some time to respawn here as G2 try to march upfield.
Oh, JNaps got caught forward a little bit. He's just got to try and stall this out. Chicago coming to help Atomic way at the back, and he's got all the boost in the world. Atomic with Chicago waiting. Atomic over 2. Chicago didn't get the shot. JNaps will follow, and G2 comes all the way back to take game 1.
They're so threatening. Atomic, first you watch the double. Then wait, where's Chicago gonna put the ball? That's when Daniel jumped thinking it was going left corner. And of course, JNaps always gonna place it perfectly. And G2 fight back to take game 1.
Wow, oh wow, oh wow. G2 down very late with 4 seconds left. They answer back at 0. They score in OT. G2 has been exceptional over the past several months in overtime.
Yeah, really, looking at this game especially, it just kind of shows you G2 keep fighting until the clock hits 0. That play to tie it up was phenomenal. And even that passing play, you always have to watch out because anybody from G2 can strike, but when they play together as a team, it just feels like no defense can stop them.
And there isn't a whole lot of defense that is there to stop them in the first place. SSG is a team that has been susceptible, especially to solo plays, to open things up. This time, they let a lead slip by. They lost a lead 3 different times in that game. Just not able to put away G2. And now, G2 has a ton of momentum as we go to Aquadome. Game 2 of our grand final. Remember, for those just joining us, G2 coming from the upper bracket, undefeated so far. They only need to win 1 best of 7. Spacestation Gaming got to beat them twice in a row here, as Chicago will make the early save. And yes, the first 8 seconds goes by without G2 conceding a goal. Big upgrade from game 1.
Yeah, this is solid, though. SSG need to find a game plan, though, of stopping G2 when G2 are on the press. Taking advantage of some of those counterattacks, or some of those double commits, I should say, would work out. And you see Daniel pushing that one on. Daniel starts to get more confident in the shot placements, and we see Daniel place more of his shots on target. I think that would be a big step up for SSG in the scoring department.
Well, JNAP's not going for the direct shot, playing over top of Arsenal, so now Daniel has to collect, and he'll get around Atomic. He's got Chicago parked in front, and Reynolds can easily play this across, but to what end? Not much. Here's Arsenal now, going up the wall. JNAP's shadowing him, Atomic coming in underneath, and it's Atomic that makes the clear with Chicago up on the wall with him. So still not great spacing defensively out of G2, but at least they have the angles covered.
That's right. Look at SSG, 1-2, 2 to Lou. Now it's Arsenal against Atomic, but Atomic's buying a lot of time here for G2. Chicago and JNAP's both back in action.
There have been 3 demos in the last 20 seconds for SSG. They know exactly what got them here, as Chicago plays right at Daniel. And Arsenal is available to bring this back to Daniel, and Atomic again with the save. You know, Chicago and JNAPs have been up kind of in the danger zone. They've been taken out time and time again already in this game. They haven't done anything about Atomic, though. He's been the wall at the back that has stopped SSG every time down the field.
And stopping Atomic, though, I mean, that's a whole thing. I've seen teams develop play styles just to take down Atomic. Sometimes it works, most times it doesn't. Right now, he comes through and gets a clutch save from Daniel's shot. SSG is still trying to knock at the door. G2 have looked uncomfortable this game. We saw JNAPs in the midfield at once with just a really bad read of the ball, but SSG haven't really been in prime position to take advantage of it just yet. So far, G2 don't have a single shot registered as we approach the bottom half of game 2.
Reynolds thought Daniel was going to creep up, and he thought better of it, so Reynolds passed. Went to an empty space. Arsenal waiting for Chicago's shot, and Arsenal, who's been kind of picked on today by teams, makes a great save, and it turns into a shot on the other end that goes well wide, and now the track meet is on. Back and forth they go. Atomic got over Arsenal this time, but Daniel will take charge, and he'll dribble through the air. He's got Reynolds coming on. Reynolds will have to sweep underneath and just couldn't get the shot by JNAPs.
This is still very uncomfortable for SSG. You can see them just trying to hold on. Now JNAPs looking for the lead block, forcing Daniel up, and good on Daniel to go high on that play. As again, Chicago putting up shots. This is JNAP's first shot, and Daniel there with the stop. G2 have just been testing the net to see if SSG will make a mistake.
Chicago cuts in front of JNAPs, and that's going to force Naps back, as Reynolds got the boost steal but did not get the ball. Arsenal will. He's got Atomic and Chicago to contend with, and he lost the ball to Atomic and couldn't take Chicago out as Chicago ducked inside the net. Now Reynolds through JNAPs, but off to the side, and with a minute 30 left, a much different story in game 2, but that one's missed by Atomic. Daniel thinking about pouncing. He will finally, but now he's got to bail out as JNAPs leaves that for Chicago. Looking for Atomic, and Arsenal got in the way. I'll tell you what, Arsenal, he has had some reads in this tournament.
That was a really good read and a good cut. Again, slowing down G2 on the offensive press is huge. Again, Atomic hasn't had a shot on this game. Daniel will take one, and he'll score. Finally, SSG get a point.
Daniel's been waiting for his chance in this game, and finally JNAPs let one get away. Chicago couldn't recover, And with 1:03 to go, another lead for Spacestation Gaming. Could we be in for another wild final minute? Reddles nearly on target. Chicago didn't get there. Daniel scores off the big booming clear from Reddles.
Look at this clear. No one was expecting it. Of course, tough read out from Chicago. Daniel there with a clean follow-up. And again, those long booming clears, you see G2 so ready to pounce. Can they score 2 with 56 seconds left? They surely can. SSG have to realize that.
Well, Reddles starting this play off very similarly, but this time Atomic way up there to reach. 2 goals in the span of 7 seconds have SSG poised to tie up this first best of 7. Arsenal staying with this, and that slows down G2 even more. Seconds incredibly valuable. They burned another couple there. Now Daniel taking this into enemy territory and burning even more time off the clock, down inside 30 seconds. And Arsenal almost put the game away for good. There's still a glimmer of hope for G2. Atomic didn't get it cleanly through Reddles. Chicago will set it for JNAPS. Daniel is there as well. That's a good indirect play, but Chicago couldn't get there in time. SSG is fast enough. They're gonna close out G2 in game 2, and it's gonna be a 1-all series unless that goes in. It does not, and SSG does tie it up.
Well done for SSG, a shutout on G2. And I think a lot of people were still expecting G2 to get something on the board there towards the end. This one was something that, you know, you look at the stats over the course of this. I think this is the first time G2 haven't scored in a game.
It feels like it. This offense has been incredibly potent. I think the only team that scored more per game was Envy, and they didn't play nearly as many as these two squads have played up to this point. So now G2 know they are in a battle here with Spacestation Gaming, and we go on to game 3. I think the key here, Daz, for SSG, get this over with as quick as possible. Don't drain yourself mentally trying to get through this first best of 7.
Yeah, we've seen SSG do that before against teams where, you know, I believe last time they were in this situation, you know, they just ended up running out of fuel. You know, this team's been playing, you know, series over the course of the day, and now you have to look at their performance. You don't want this to go 7. You want to close this out. Do it in 5 if you can. Again, the start there, though, is shutting down Atomic. Atomic he had no shots in that last game. This was the first time G2's been shut out this entire tournament, and Atomic and Chicago only had 2 apiece, but they get 1 off an own goal there, so yeah.
You know, look, I know Arsenal has got some really good passes in this tournament. That's not one that was intended for him. Chicago credited with the goal after that own goal by Arsenal, and now SSG has to regain after having scored the only 2 goals of game 2. And now G2 trying to press that advantage early on as everybody recovers. Daniel gonna bring this all the way to ground. Now he'll take to the skies, and Atomic right there to meet Arsenal. And you know Arsenal's gonna be pressing maybe just a little bit more and try and get that one back. Good bouncer in by Atomic as Chicago will play around. And Daniel right there to meet him. This first minute belonging, at least so far, to G2 off that gift. And Atomic looking over towards Chicago. And this is kind of the danger, I think, for SSG, having to play from behind against one of the better front runners in the world here. G2 does not give up leads very often as one skied up. JNAPS will block that off the backboard. Arsenal has Daniel as a decoy, and Arsenal's shot is saved away.
That was so good from G2. Is it a double commit? Yes, but when you expect a bump to come out of SSG, JNAV so smart to cover that position. Keeping G2 in a 1-goal space, that's really solid defense.
Daniel's waiting for this ball off the ceiling as he beat Chicago in the air. And Arsenal looking for Daniel, who's looking for Reddles, looking for the goal, and he scores!
Oh, man, if Reddles keeps getting looks like that, G2 might be in trouble. Look at this beautiful lob up there for from Daniel to Reddles, and Reddles top left positioning, tied up ball game. They finally get things going.
So what do they have to follow up here? JNAPS on target. Arsenal with the clear. And this is a great drop-down pass intended for Atomic, but he peeled off at the last moment. Reynolds avoids Chicago, and then Chicago, after missing the demo or bump effort, still gets back on the ball, and Atomic can at least play in his general direction. And Chicago now realizes he's got to come back. He can't keep cherry-picking downfield, as he'll get a big clear out of this with JNAP streaking down the middle, and Arsenal just got to this. I think if JNAP makes contact there, we're looking at a new ball game.
I just have to say, this is a beautiful game. This series has been amazing to watch so far. Seeing both these teams just give it their all right here, it's just been amazing. Demos coming out, solo plays, team plays, everything. Right now, G2 trying to get back in the control of things, but look at the way SSG are passing this around, not afraid of the back pass, even after that own goal from Arsenal. And the same thing I should be saying, even with how they're sharing the ball and moving it around, it's just been phenomenal as Reynolds looks for a solo play, but Chicago is going to get a block. Arsenal follow-up shot. They'll go high and off the back wall.
A lot of high-pressure games played by SSG already today, preparing them for this moment. They started today in the lower bracket after having absolutely dominated version 1 to close out yesterday. They avenged their earlier loss to FaZe Clan in the lower finals, and here we are. Arsenal taking over from Reynolds. Daniel's going to loop around, but Atomic's hit the clear right at Slater. Reynolds indirect for himself and the lead.
Oh, it was dangerous. As soon as no one challenged him off the touch from the ceiling, I knew he was going to place this well. Solid shot. Reynolds has been shooting so good for SSG as he picks up second goal for them. He's 2 for 2 in game 3.
Inside 2 minutes, it's SSG with the lead late again. G2 has shown tremendous comeback ability, though. JNAP's around Arsenal. Looking to set up Atomic. Instead, he'll have to settle for Chicago coming on, and there's the demo on Atomic. So the last man taken out. There's the respawn, and JNAP's with the save after the demo on Arsenal. Reynolds still comes up, though, and he's got the hat trick.
Slater, the shooter, my goodness. 3 for 3 now on the shot positions. Look at this. Same placement as last time. He has full faith in Daniel, follows it all the way through. 2-goal lead for SSG as they continue the scoring run.
Reynolds with 5 goals already here in the finals. 3 of them have come here in this game. Almost single-handedly leading SSG across the finish line, but JNAPS has other plans. Reynolds makes the save there. They're going to get real sick of seeing Reynolds' name pop up eventually here. Chicago on target. No, it was a little wide. Now Atomic to JNAPS, and Reynolds comes in as well. I think JNAPS kind of heard the footsteps, or at least the engine coming up behind him. Reynolds looking for a fourth. No, he may get credit though as Daniel hit it off of him. And back it goes with JNAPS. Daniel with the save. And G2 going to struggle to get one on target from this position.
Great save out from Daniel as well. That was an on-target counterattack shot as Arsenal finds that double. And G2 still trying to get on the board. You have to realize, even though G2 have a goal this game, it came after an own goal from Arsenal. Technically, this team is still on a scoring drought since game 2. As Daniel tries to do it all himself, G2 have struggled to find an answer. Wouldn't be surprised if they drop this game. We see a timeout for them. 30 seconds remaining here, and they just can't get anything going offensively.
Yeah, G2 has run through much of its offense from the first minute, or the last minute of regulation in game 1. As this goes right back the other way. Arsenal waiting, and now he will pick that right away from Atomic. JNAP's in front, nobody's there. Reynolds will clear. Down to 10 seconds, unless they've got a goal real quick. They will not have a shot to tie this game up. Chicago watching this one. There's little he can do about it. Atomic can't get one in front. SSG takes control of the series, and now we do wait to see if Daz is right, and G2 takes a timeout.
Again, scoring drought here for G2. This time Atomic does put on a couple of shots here. As again, everyone from G2 putting on 2 shots apiece. Spacestation Gaming, though, especially with Reynolds. Big game 3 for Reynolds. Daniel sharing the ball here as well. I mean, you gotta wonder, maybe this is it, but I think they're gonna keep going here, Stacks.
Yeah, they are gonna keep going here as we look at the Mobile 1 high performance replay, and we see the Reynolds show on target. Every single time. 3 goals, a hat trick from 4 shots. And those are just the 4 that counted for him. I think he might have had a couple more that were really good looks. SSG looked incredibly good in game 3. They've had a phenomenal start to this series. now winning back-to-back games. They came out of the gate storming in game 1, and they just let it slip up at the end. G2 still trying to catch up to what Reddles has been doing.
Something's got to change for G2 when they're in the offensive third, because right now they've been empty 2 games in a row. Sure, they get that 1 goal, but of course, again, off of Arsenal's mistouch.
Yep.
So they got some work to do. Meanwhile, Spacestation Gaming have to remember this is a marathon, not a sprint. They have to remain consistent for the rest of this series, and then another one on top of that.
And that may even be part of G2's mindset, like, hey, you know what? We got one in hand. I don't think you want to let SSG get that kind of momentum, though, as JNAPS, what a win over Reddles. So now Daniel will let Arsenal take over. Chicago knocks him out of the way, so now Daniel does have to get involved. Chicago to center, and Arsenal's right there. Good turn on the back wall. Now up against Atomic, and he at least made him wait for a moment. Everybody's boosted up now for SSG as Reddles takes over from the backboard. He got clipped by JNAPS on his way through. And Daniel, simple shot, simple save by Atomic right over to Chicago. So G2 has settled in nicely now, trying to get some opportunities on the offensive end, though. Their defense has been fine. It's the offense, as you mentioned, has been struggling. Outside of that first game, they haven't put the ball in SSG's net without some help from Spacestation Gaming.
But you know, you're right on one thing where, yes, G2 are probably fully aware that, hey, we have another series after this, and I think for this team especially, they're going to keep a calm mental. They won't get too frustrated knowing just that, okay, this gives us some time to figure out this play style and work on a counterattack while we have that opportunity. As JNAP slams one across, but Arsenal ready to read it. This ball lasering back and forth from that halfway line to the SSG end as G2 again testing the defense.
Well, G2, no stranger to the bracket reset. Remember the way they lost the first best of 7 to Team Queso in Los Angeles. And they battled back like nothing happened. JNAPS denied in point-blank range by Daniel, who's quickly onto this one now. Wide turnaround, try to take it through 2. He's beat 2, and Atomic got around Reddles to make the save.
Wave dash on the wall. Arsenal has Reddles midfield, but it's over him. Daniel can control this and pops it really quickly over Chicago, but Daniel got bumped, so can't control that one. This is still in the midfield, halfway through this game, scoreless. Both teams just looking for that one mistake to start to move in.
Halfway mark as Daniel, good win, got it to Arsenal. It's loose in front, and JNAP scrambles to get there. Reddles still, though. This is how quick SSG is, and it's been so impressive. Sure, Arsenal demoed behind the play by JNAPS, and Atomic has Arsenal back in his way off the respawn. You know, SSG will have a play kind of fizzle out thanks to the G2 defense, but then they're right back on it. I think a lot of other teams will just kind of play conservatively, move back into the defensive end, and SSG is not letting G2 get comfortable at all on either half of the field. Daniel will play this right down to Chicago. Arsenal picks his pocket, and now looking to take this himself, and he just can't get it to go.
Still, though, a little scary on that goal line for G2. JNAPS gets demoed, and Arsenal will have a free touch looking for the follow-up. Did he get the flip? Doesn't seem so, but Reddles is playing deep third, so they'll be able to hold on to this one, at least buy the team some time to rotate.
7 goals between the two teams in game 1. And JNAPS goes in behind Arsenal to get G2's first goal in what feels like forever.
It's been a while since JNAPS has had a free shot like that. And I mean, what placement? Even Arsenal knew it was coming, but Arsenal couldn't turn fast enough. JNAPS ripped that one into the lower left corner.
4th goal in the series for JNAPS. He had that hat trick in game 1. And now Naps looking to set up Atomic, who's yet to score. Oh, he took the shot himself, and he caught SSG by surprise.
JNAPS is feeling it, and guess what? If he starts to get warmed up, that's a big problem for SSG. Even had Reynolds in his face, didn't matter. 2 goals for JNAPS, 2 goals for G2.
And 2 goals separated by all of 6 seconds. An SSG-esque start here in the final minute 20. Daniel out for Reddles. That shot will be on, but it's an easy save from Naps. He goes over Daniel like he's not even there. Now around the corner, Arsenal Oh, he had to play that indirect, hoping Daniel could get to it. Instead, JNaps did, and Chicago will finish off the defensive effort. Who's giving it right down the middle. Reynolds will just dish that off to Arsenal. 45 seconds. Arsenal denied by Atomic. Now Reynolds. Kind of hard to imagine this SSG squad being shut out in a game, but G2 doing just that. And JNaps is about to put it away. Chicago couldn't get it there in time, though. Now down to 30 seconds. And still now some life for SSG with Arsenal forcing a double commit out of Atomic and JNaps, but a safe one as there's no further pressure out of SSG.
Arsenal with that carry. They're still trying to break through. They get this in a good drive as Daniel shot. Oh, Atomic saves it at the goal line. Will clear it away. And maybe with that, they also clear away SSG's hopes of getting back into this one. They tried to put the pressure on. G2 stood tall, and they are going to come away with this game 4.
2 apiece. It'll turn this first best of 7 effectively into a best of 3 for the Verizon Ultra Cup. G2, remember, having that extra life so they can end it here, or SSG can force the bracket reset. But if G2 plays lockdown defense like that, it will be a quick grand final.
G2 doing a really good job of just holding on to the ball and, again, creating chances for themselves as well. I mean, look at this. Being able to get some of these touches out, forcing JNaps to get a clean shot just after 50 on the ceiling, by the way. I mean, that's solid. And then, of course, JNaps, when he's shooting like that, it just, again, poses a completely different threat from when he goes up into the air for the future. This is going to be really tough, again, for Spacestation Gaming, because remember, we all thought G2 was going to take a timeout because maybe they thought the momentum was going to be a lot from SSG. They say no need, recoup, and continue to move forward. It's going to be a big game 5 coming up next.
2 of the better coaches in North America. Who are we to second guess them, right? Stathu now leading G2. Chrome, as he has done for a while now, leading Spacestation Gaming. Both teams incredibly complimentary of their coaches. As Atomic will try and start it off out of the corner. Arsenal's easily got this, but it goes right at Chicago, and that's bad news for SSG. What a save by Reynolds and Daniel, crisscrossing in front. JNaps will try and set up Atomic again, and now it's G2 getting those second and third chance opportunities that SSG was generating in the early stages of this series.
Oh man, they are putting on the pressure right now. Arsenal, wait, does he have a read? He got bumped into that, got a piece of it. Reynolds with a misread, and you see Chicago bearing down, still trying to look for a bump on Daniel. Now Chicago turns and takes a shot. He's doing it all. Chicago strikes for G2.
I don't know how he got to this. Daniel looks like he has it all lined up. Chicago beats him to the punch, and Reynolds doesn't have a chance sitting down there on the ground. Chicago opens up the scoring, and now SSG got to be wondering what has gone wrong since the middle stage of this series. Arsenal played one through. JNaps has this, and the brick wall is all set up. Atomic going after Reynolds. Try to redirect this down in front as well. Atomic trying to do absolutely everything, and he almost set up Reed for a 2-0 lead.
Still not done. JNaps with that flip reset, at least trying to force a 50 to keep things in here for G2. As Atomic, ooh, awkward spot. SSG finally trying to slow things down, but again, you can see just G2 starting to hunt SSG in their own half, making them as uncomfortable as possible and kind of giving them a taste of their own medicine.
Daniel, oh, I think he got hit by Arsenal and knocks him out of the play, so Arsenal's got to make the turn himself. Maybe a little sooner than he would have liked. Got a boost steal out of the corner, though. Reynolds going after Chicago. Did not make contact, and all that physical play has abandoned SSG now. Arsenal down to Reynolds. They're going to try and do it the old-fashioned way now, as Daniel is beaten out by Atomic, and the speed of G2 has finally come through. Reynolds looking for Daniel in traffic. JNaps got there instead, and the first 2 minutes decisively have belonged to G2. There are windows, though, for SSG, but they have not been able to bust through just yet. Maybe Daniel here with Arsenal waiting. Daniel through one, got the shot away. Can he get a shot here? No, nothing behind it. And Chicago bails out G2.
I thought Daniel was going to go through the entire defense on that play. Looked likely as he got it past one. Daniel though with the finish, and he will! Off the assist from Arsenal, Daniel strikes.
Off the assist too from JNaps. He's trying to play that maybe up into the ceiling. Instead, it goes back, waterfall right down in front. Big break for Space Station Gaming. They tie things up here. Daniel getting his fourth. And now Reddles. Slammed to the wall by Atomic, but he'll still take this. And JNAPS intercepts, but now SSG looking a lot more comfortable themselves. Both teams have settled in a crucial Game 5.
Still that battle continues on in the air, and Chicago again with the read. Pushing that one in, picked out the SSG attack.
As closely matched as these two teams are, you can't afford to give up one like this. That one's going to sting as Chicago picks up his 5th goal. Good grief, here we go. Chicago again. G2 in the lead. JNAP's shot saved by Arsenal. Misspoke, by the way. Chicago, his 4th goal. Whatever, he's going to get his 5th in a moment here anyways. 2 minutes left as Reddles will play one to Daniel. Arsenal underneath him, but Daniel trying to do it all himself again, and he's proven capable of doing that, Daz, but I start to wonder if maybe Daniel's trying to do too much, whereas G2 on the other side look more like a full team effort.
Well, no, I mean, Daniel was really quiet here at the start of this series. He's finally come alive, and it has created some plays, and Atomic, oh man, what a laser of a shot. G2 aren't done just yet. You see Chicago trying to get those solo plays to carry it in, as well as run out the clock. SSG do have to be on a little bit more of a team approach here, as the solo plays have not worked in their favor this game.
Chicago knew exactly where Reddles was going with this ball. He was able to read quick, but now Arsenal just dumping one deep into the G2 end, and now it's Daniel against Atomic. He got another one through, but he'll have to go off for boost here because he can't continue the play directly. Arsenal challenge ends up on target. JNAPS has that save away. And now Reddles trying to get involved in the action. Daniel's there as well. And a decent clear by Atomic, but that will give SSG a chance with a minute to go. Trying to get the flip reset Arsenal, and Chicago was with him every step of the way.
I like that touch from Reddles, just again popping it into open space, and this allows Daniel to reposition. Again, Daniel, play out, Reddles speed test against Chicago, and it's just going to be at 50. And did Arsenal get caught out? He did! JNAP strikes, G2 a 2-goal lead.
SSG is giving up a couple of cheapies here, one to Chicago, one to JNAPS, and this one hurts even more with 44 seconds left, increasing the lead to 2.
Now SSG have to worry about things kind of falling apart here. Offensive drives haven't been working. G2's continuing to score. This one will have 36 seconds left. And G2, they get an extra series here. SSG, they have to come out of this to reset the bracket. They can't afford to lose this in a dominant fashion as Reynolds tries to put a shot on, and G2 once again deny.
They've hit Reynolds with some opportunities, but the finishing has not been there. Ever since that hat trick, he's gone stone cold silent, and this is on target, no, off the crossbar. And Arsenal trying to just feather it back to Reynolds with no time left, really. 5 seconds left, another one dumped in. G2 is going to go on tournament point here with a great victory over SSG.
Now the question is, G2 close it out? Because right now, I mean, they just look like a well-oiled machine out in front. Especially with the way JNAPS has been playing. 5 saves coming out from him, as well as an assist and a shot, or a goal, I'm sorry. His shooting percentage when he is scoring is just always been really high. He shot 50% this game. Meanwhile, SSG on the other side of things, just very quiet. Nothing coming out from Arsenal. I mean, we saw, again, plenty of chances there when they were in the upper half. They tried to put the solo plays in. Just didn't work. They need to go back to kind of maybe passing towards each other. That way, that much being said, though, again, Stacks, as we move to Neo Tokyo, no team taking a timeout here.
Yeah, nobody taking a timeout. SSG keeping it in their pocket here, so you have to imagine they're not going to take it if they win Game 6. So Space Station Gaming going this whole first best of 7 without using their timeout, and they've been stubborn in this tournament to do so, even when FaZe Clan was leading that comeback charge in the upper bracket against them. They did not burn a timeout. The timeout taken by version 1 against them that same day. SSG came back with a 7-0 victory. Teams now are, I believe, 5-2 since after taking a timeout. But SSG opts to go it alone here as JNaps will get by one. Reddles easily there at the back. Now Atomic, good center ball intended for Chicago. Didn't quite find the mark. And that's because Chicago's on his way back to make that save, and he may have to make another. Oh, JNaps jumps in the way to save him.
Those demos are starting to come out again, and so are the passing plays for Spacestation. Again, Reddles finding Daniel, even on the defensive transitions, looking really well.
Daniel waiting to watch Arsenal play this one away. And I have a feeling Chicago thought maybe Atomic was going to come up. He hesitates for a moment. Daniel should easily have this. You know, for all of Atomic shooting, by the way, if anybody cares about shooting percentage, and I normally do like the stat, they're not going to look at Atomic very favorably here. He's yet to score. He had 5 shots in that last game, but he does also have 3 assists. Atomic still finding a way to make a difference, even when the shots aren't falling, like that one. Saved away by Daniel. Reddles got the save here, and Chicago back for JNaps, stuffed away by Reddles.
Oh, such a calculated play coming out from G2 in terms of like the bump plays, trying to set up JNaps with a clean look, but even then, a stroke of luck hits SSG as Arsenal got bumped into that play, and now they're on the transition.
Reddles against Atomic, one of the few defensive plays Atomic hasn't been able to make directly, but he was still hanging around on the back wall at the end. And now Chicago powering his way around Arsenal, but then knocked into the other half of the field. So now Reddles, with everybody flying over top of JNaps, it's loose in front as Reddles couldn't get the double to fall, and it's just absolutely chaos at the G2 corner.
Oh man, so awkward. You had the double commit come out. Everybody thought Arsenal was putting the shot on. He gets it past one, gets it past two. Reddles, bang! SSG start off game 6 with the lead.
Arsenal also yet to score, by the way, in this series. But he's got one banger of an assist there with 3 minutes even, setting up Reddles, who's been relatively quiet as of late. That one could get him going, though. Daniel up the ladder, met by Atomic. And now Reddles trying to get a turnaround on this one, and he has to just stuff JNaps, who's coming in from behind for the bump. Didn't quite get there as early as he would have liked. Now Daniel with Arsenal waiting, and JNaps will bring it up to the corner.
SSG showing a lot of offensive pressure as they start to get things going. Even Reddles off ball, getting some bumps. Again, going back to just making G2 look uncomfortable. But here's JNaps, 1v1 against Reddles. What's he going to do? Air dribble bump, but no, he doesn't connect. Atomic will try to slow things down, but that gets away from everybody, and it's the race back.
Daniel didn't have the boost to try and race them downfield. Now Chicago, oh, it got the drop down, and Atomic, a slow roller. He got Reddles at least, but Arsenal also there, so the defense packing in there for SSG has worked out as Daniel saved that one, strafing across from Atomic. Now watch Daniel on the other side. Does JNaps leave this for anybody? No, take it himself, and that's a great job defensively.
8 saves to 9 shots. SSG has saved 8 of them. That's G2 has really been putting on the scoring here. Even though SSG keep the ball in that half for most of this game, G2, whenever they move downfield, they're putting something on target here. Is again looking for a goal. Daniel tried to get that 50 out, but JNaps easily gets the save.
Atomic drop one down for JNaps to pop in the air, and the SSG defense kind of left scratching their heads wondering what G2 really has planned. Chicago got a demo way behind the play. Daniel's already back in and looking to challenge JNaps. That doesn't work out. The demo's there, and Chicago ties it.
Oh, that's a 1-2-2 to lose special stacks. Look at this. JNaps with control. Pass out. Reddles. See you later. Chicago slots it in to tie.
I was worried about Chicago coming into this. You know, he watched his goals per game average plummet from 1.5 plus to something like 1.37 during that phase series. Nah, he's still going. He has been incredible. He's got 6 in this series now. As another's played across, and Atomic can't get there in time. Daniel gives SSG the lead again.
Look at this. Solid 50. And Daniel, no boost, has to place this and does perfectly to give SSG the lead back. They got to force game 7 here, Stacks. 1 minute 3 seconds remaining. Can they hold on?
That game was tied for all of 16 seconds. Chicago through the corner for JNaps again. Not happening as Daniel will force that out to the corner. Trying to get around Atomic now. Atomic and Arsenal still still yet to score in this final, as Daniel watches this go over top, and Arsenal will take charge. Daniel taking off the pitch. Chicago right there, but he won't have that boost because Arsenal took it away. And this will fall back to Atomic now with 35 seconds to work with. Daniel still has Arsenal downfield, but he couldn't connect for a redirect. They also don't really need a goal. They'd like to have one, but they have the lead, and they may put it away here. No, Arsenal couldn't flip onto it.
This is great for SSG. Again, just kind of slowing down the game, but they have to realize the more time they give G2 to think, the more G2 can play in their advance. Arsenal with the 50, Chicago gets the block out. And Chicago, he's going to start to move upfield now, looking for something for G2. But Reynolds with some control. Atomic can't get the read on that, so it'll bounce up, and Daniel will try to get there first. No time on the clock. It will get one last bounce, though, and we'll see if G2 can make this drive all the way upfield. Arsenal will cut things out. And Atomic will try to play that in space, but Reynolds will score just one more, giving Atomic the playmaker. Or, I'm sorry, Arsenal the playmaker, as we are game 7 bound.
It was a good pass from Atomic.
Yeah, that's true. that's true.
The second 0-second goal of this series, this one meaning a little bit less than the strike from JNAPS all the way back in game 1, and it will force a 7th game here in what may or may not be the final series of the Verizon Ultra Cup. But Space Station Gaming stays alive on Neo Tokyo. And now we look one more time at our Mobile One high performance replay and see just how Space Station Gaming got to game 7, where they are 1-1 up to this point since adding Daniel to the roster. And G2 fans, cup your ears, press the mute button for about 5 seconds. Y'all are 0-3 since adding Atomic in game 7. All right, now they can all unmute. Daz, what is the hope here for G2 on Champions Field?
Well, I mean, I think the hope is, you kind of go back to the play style that we saw from them, where, again, they tried to play Space Station's game against them, where, again, you go for the super fast plays, the demos, the bumps, even setting up JNAPS with free shots. JNAPS has been shooting phenomenally for G2 this series, so, of course, you need to feed the high hand. He didn't really have too many good looks in that last game, but he also had shots under a lot of pressure, whereas JNAPS can output. He wasn't able to do so there. So for me, I think you gotta kind of feed JNAPS a little bit more, and maybe even get Atomic some space. Like we said, the scoring hasn't been there for them. You want to see that.
Well, here we go. What could be the final game of the Verizon Ultra Cup, of course, between SSG and G2, this highly anticipated matchup. It comes down to game 7 on Champions Field, brought to you by Verizon. Now we'll kick it off. Here we go.
All right. Tense game. All the players have been just playing it out over the course of this entire series, trading blows left and right. But it comes down to who can close it out.
Who's got the ice here on Champions Field? G2 looking for their first win on this field since that big roster change that added Atomic to their roster. Reynolds looking to go 2-1 on this field since adding Daniel. That goes off the crossbar. Daniel forcing one through. Arsenal there as well, but Atomic can play janitor here as he'll clean up the mess smoothly through the air. Didn't get his first goal, but he may get another assist. JNAPS no. Chicago denied by Daniel.
Look how fast Atomic's up to get that follow-up shot, but that's going to pinch all the way downfield. Good thing JNAP's back in time for G2. Got away with with Arsenal's poor shot placement there on the bump play earlier. Meanwhile, G2 so quick to get things back on that orange half. They are not going to let SSG continue to have sustained pressure on them.
Daniel needed one more touch coming off the back wall. Didn't have it. And now JNAPS will bring this all the way over to Chicago, who's going to take his time, forcing Arsenal on his way back. Reynolds, initial stop. Atomic just kind of camped out on that wall, waiting for Daniel. And JNAPS is there as well. Good tandem defense there out of G2. Atomic waiting for the pass from JNAPS, not coming. And now Chicago for Atomic, and Atomic getting cold feet there. Atomic, I think, realizes, Daz, his role is not to light up the scoreboard. It's to kind of play safety valve for this G2 squad, and he's done it brilliantly.
He's been creating so many chances for G2, and he's also been making SSG's life really hard. This G2 roster coming out of whole, again, a titan of a team, and SSG's just trying to answer the question, can we beat these guys? We still got 3 minutes left in game 7.
So many valuable points on the line in the race to qualify for London as Daniel floats one just over the bar. And now Arsenal around Atomic. That has not happened often. And then Atomic got a piece of Reynolds, who still stayed with the play and slowed down G2. What an effort. And now it's Daniel. Got a flip reset. Used it. And scored!
Look at him go! You can't give Daniel that space. He realized the last shot was too high. Let's take it low. Popped up, and the defense couldn't stop him. Daniel, the superstar on SSG.
Coming through in a big, big way. His 22nd goal of the tournament. Arsenal watching JNAPS play that over to Chicago. You know G2 is far from done here. Arsenal gonna pop one up for Reynolds. Indirect, needed one more, got it. Arsenal makes it 2-0 with his first goal of the final.
Look at this from Reynolds, the control, follow-up. He's shown that he can read the ball well off the ceiling, and G2, I guess they must have forgot. Reminder there from Arsenal, 2-goal lead, Spacestation Gaming controlling this game 7.
And another huge momentum swing, 2 goals, make it 3 goals in the span of 20 seconds.
You almost wish they could slow things down mid-game, but they can't. SSG keep going. Everybody getting a goal here as Reynolds slot top right corner.
Both teams have lit up the scoreboard at different points in this series. SSG and G2 both did it in game 1, but it's a one-sided affair in the clincher unless G2 have an answer here in the second half of game 7. Arsenal not cleanly around Chicago. Atomic with JNAPS coming in with a lot more momentum. JNAPS probably should have taken this, and Arsenal will pick them.
And you can hear what SSG are saying right now. They want to reset the bracket. Good pick from Daniel. Arsenal will just pick it up to make sure G2 don't get back in time. 4-0. This is the highest score lead that SSG has had on G2 this series.
JNAPS got at least one shot off here, but yeah, the offensive pipeline has dried up. Atomic intercepted by Daniel. Everything coming up Spacestation Gaming here. Just want to harken back to the pre-show, Daz. One of those options was a 14-game final. We already know we are halfway there, and if this holds, we know we'll at least get 4 more. Daniel stopped by Atomic. Reynolds will put on the brakes, not taken out. And Chicago doing all he can, desperately trying to get some offense going for the G2 Army. There is none to be found. It is all Arsenal. It is all SSG.
They are picking them apart, Stacks. Even with JNAPS trying to get control, Chicago trying to help out. SSG don't care. Arsenal forcing the issue, and a 5th goal for SSG and a hat trick for Arsenal as well. This is a great time to start scoring if you're him.
The last now 7 goals of this series have been scored by Spacestation Gaming. You go back to the end of game 6, and now this beating that has occurred on Champions Field. We apologize if what you're watching on your screen is obscene content in your area, but it is as one-sided as it gets.
Boy.
And Reynolds gonna add another. They can do no wrong.
In the game. It's over. Arsenal, I mean, Reynolds with that clear out, they've been picking the pockets here of G2 time and time again. And I said it coming in. Hey, maybe give JNAP some more shooting chances. He still hasn't recorded a shot this game. You just have to go next here, which I am going to be very excited for because we got more games coming up.
Reynolds met by Chicago, and now the only question is, will we get to a 7th? Arsenal tried to leave it for Daniel. Reynolds just patiently waiting. And it's all G2 can do to just get this one over with. Maybe get 1 so there's no shutout. Then you're worrying about a different meme as JNAPS plays one across inside 30 seconds. How about this performance out of Spacestation Gaming? All 3 members, absolutely incredible. Daniel will walk another one home. That's going to be his 7th goal of the final, and there's plenty more to come for the youngster in SSG.
Yeah, you're right. Daniel just kind of step up, and this series, again, had such a slow start. we definitely was wondering. He wasn't putting on shots, and the shots he was putting on were a little bit off target. But then as the series went on, he started to find his form. There were lots of bumps, literally, in this series for SSG. But of course, they all come together towards the end, and my goodness, what a smackdown. They're putting on G2 Esports 7-0 as the clock ticks down. The ball, well, that's not gonna hit the ground just yet. There you go, it'll hit the ground. And a bracket reset from SSG. We got more games to go in this grand final.
That might be the most inhumane treatment I have ever seen of a team on Champions Field. I mean, we've seen some one-sided games, Daz, but you look now at the cameras for G2, and you look at a team that's got to figure out how to stop that absolute juggernaut from going off again like they did just now.
The thing about this for both teams is that no one is celebrating just yet, okay? We know we have another best of 7 coming up. This is the real test for Spacestation Gaming because they put in everything to get through that series. I mean, an explosive Game 7 from them. Look at that beautiful shot from Daniel. This setup from Reddles was absolutely amazing too. Now the question is, how much more do they have left in the tank? Because even though G2 lose this series, they are going to come back in a strong way. They're going to try to fix these mistakes. And again, this is just going to be the start here as the grand finals are going to continue.
I got to correct you on one thing. There are tens of thousands of people celebrating, especially those that are on 90-something%. We got another best of 7 coming your way. G2 and SSG will lock it up again when we come back.